Hello everybody, it's the April 2024 garden update. As you can see, we got some flowers blooming, looking pretty good. A lot have bloomed. Here's my new Rosa Sharon. Just put that in a few days ago. Had one there for years, but it eventually died, so I'll try another one. The herb garden's looking pretty good. Hollyhocks and mosquito plants are looking decent. This one needs a little water, so I went ahead and put the sprinkler on, and we'll get these all revived up. Got kind of hot today, so kind of a shock to the plants. They're not used to it. It had been cool and the switch flips, and now it's hot. Here is this flower bed by the lean-to with the added solar lights. Begonias on the end, looking pretty good. There is the ground cover. It's growing and thriving now, looking pretty good. Here's this Turk's cap in the middle of the yard that's been there for decades and decades. It's coming around. My begonias are looking pretty good in the little flower bed by my workshop. Here's the flower bed on the south side of the property. Got a nice amaryllis blooming today. This Turk cap is very healthy and thriving. Various salvias I'm testing out. Haven't seen much from this fire bush yet, but it's got a little bit of attempts to grow on the little lower section of the stubs there, so hopefully that comes around. And a look on this side, got a couple of red hot pokers blooming, and whatever those things are, like this yarrow. Lots of little wildlife insects flying around. Looking pretty good. Here's a look at the cabbage and broccoli patch. Those will be ready pretty soon. There's another one. That one is ready, so I need to pick that. Potatoes are looking great. Those will be ready probably another month. Here are some, I think these are Blue Lake or Roma. Might be Roma. Roma beans. Getting pretty healthy looking. Here are my wax beans. They're looking great. Onions are coming right along, as are the tomatoes. Another tomato plant. And they are indeed starting to bulb out and make actual onions. And there's another tomato plant. Looks like it may have some tomatoes starting, so that's good. This one plant here doesn't seem too healthy, but maybe it'll come around. Another tomato, and I think this is the real tall sunflower from last year. We've got 5 of them this year that came up. Here's these potato plants. These extra potatoes that I had. I think they're pretty happy there. More tomatoes. Asparagus is growing up. Bees love these little flowers on the asparagus plants. More tomatoes. More tomatoes. Radishes. More tomatoes. Here is my mustard spinach, and lettuce, all healthy. And there's some carrots in the background on that last row. Got a little bit of cantaloupe growing. Got 2 plants of that. More tomatoes, and even more tomatoes. And then the other asparagus bed, which is just loaded with bees today. Those little yellow flowers, they just love those. Here is the 4 o'clock bed. I pulled some weeds yesterday, so that should be blooming and looking pretty good before long. Here is a look at this part of the garden. Got another row of carrots there. My squash patch. Various pepper plants across this front row. There's my cucumbers. I've got a row of Blue Lake 274 beans, and then they turn the corner and come down this way, which I had replanted some of these yesterday as some didn't come up. These rows with the trellis, black-eyed peas. This is pinto beans. This is pinto beans. And then these 2 rows here are Roma beans. So I should have 3 rows total of those. And then 5 rows of black-eyed peas. The Siberian iris bloom pretty well this year. Bees love those as well. Just absolutely covered in bees. And here's a general look at the flower bed on the south side of the house. Those St. Joseph lilies over there have passed their prime. And I now have some zinnias planted here, so hopefully those will sprout and grow and look pretty good later this year. Got a few seedlings coming up here and there now, so that's good to see. These daylillies are getting ready to bloom. They're the orange ones. Here's a bunch of zinnia seedlings coming up. Tropicals are looking pretty good. The yellow flower bed's getting ready to bloom. And I still need to abandon that one. Those need to die down a little bit more, and I'll take those bulbs and plant those elsewhere. Finally found my pentas, as these St. Joseph lilies are declining. The annual color will take over. This cluster of St. Joseph is still hanging on pretty good. There's some wildlife. A lot of wild violets growing in there. The euonymus bushes are looking pretty healthy this year. Going to need to be trimmed soon. These chrysanthemums are looking pretty healthy. Going to have to trim those back a little bit. Hanging basket number 1, the New Guinea impatiens, looking pretty good. And hanging basket number 2. Here's the flower bed at the front of the house in the front yard. St. Joseph lilies are still looking pretty good here. Iris have got a little bit left. Various salvias and zinnias and marigolds, stuff like that. I like a wide variety out here, since everybody can see it from the street. And then the firebush here has got some growth on it, so that's good to see. Here's this flower bed by the mailbox, looking very good with all those snapdragons. Violas are still hanging on, and some snapdragons from last year started blooming again, so very good. And here is a look at this flower bed on the north side of the property. A lot of lilies getting ready to bloom. I put in some begonias and coleus plants. Got a blue iris getting ready to bloom there where the water's spraying on it. And then some periwinkles down here as it gets a little more sun in that area. Expect these daylilies here to start blooming. They're those dark red ones. Got some of these crooked purple iris getting ready to bloom. One there, and one is laying on the ground blooming. Just noticed that. And then this guy is trying to bloom, the amethyst. And then I got a columbine there. So hopefully that continues to grow and thrive. Got some caladiums planted in here. They haven't sprouted yet. Not quite warm enough, but it's getting there. Here is a look at this side of the yard. Coming along, starting to grow. Hopefully it continues and doesn't stall out. Did a little bit of plugging here, had some thin spots, but same kind of grass, the zoysia. Here's a look at the front yard. It's coming around gradually. Getting some warm days, so things are starting to turn around a little bit. Here's a look at the south lawn. Been doing a little leveling, some weed pulling, some seeding and different things like that. So things are beginning to head in the right direction. Had a low spot there for sure. Here's a general look at everything from the distance. Grass is greening up. Here's a look at the backyard. Turning around. I did the soil test for 2024, so that video will be coming up. And also the new XM Cozy Plus lights along the side of the garden there. Also have those featured in a video in the patio opening series, which should be starting pretty soon. Once again, April 2024 garden update. Thank you for watching.